Hello all, welcome back to testingtools.co. In this video of Selenium series, we will talk about how to write Selenium code so that you can identify the objects using XPaths, the XPaths that we created in the previous video, right? So we will use the same XPath and then try to use Selenium code and interact the particular object. Okay, so let's just go back and see what was the XPath. So the XPath was this. Okay, we will use this XPath and try to click on the add to cart button of this particular product. Okay, now let's jump into Eclipse and write the code. So here, so far we have been writing some functions which are reusable across project. That is why we created something called a browser library here, or a browser class. In that we had different methods, and then we have been using it in the demo test. Okay, now in real-time projects, what happens is when you work on different web pages, you try to create XPaths which are specific to each page. Okay, so for example, if you see this particular page, this is a products list page. So what we will try to do is we will create one class file which will be used to hold the XPaths of individual UI elements of this particular page. So here the page is basically products page. If you see here, the page title is products. So let's use that name and then create one page object. Okay, we call it as page object. This is also some part of framework. So I am slowly even writing the code in a better way so that when you switch into framework, it is more relevant to you. Okay, this is all about the best practices that you have to follow so that you will be having good code, clean code, maintainable code, and stable code. Okay, so we will first create a package. So I will create a package called application or app. Okay, under this app package, I'll create something called pages. Now we will also create one more package called scripts so that when we go forward, we can write all the test automation scripts in that particular package. Okay, if you see here, there are two packages that have been created under app package. Now let's create one page object called products. I'll say products page. Okay. So as I said, we are creating this particular page class so that you can hold the XPaths of all the elements that are present in the products page. Okay. So here we will write one XPath called add to cart. So I'll copy the XPath where we had. Okay. I will also put it as static. I'll tell you why. And then I will say static So we are building this particular XPath so that it is working for Sauce Labs backpack. But I also showed you that if I change this particular text, it will identify the add to cart of that particular product itself or the item, right? So in this way, we will take an advantage. Like I will generate the XPath in such a way whenever I give a title of a product, that particular add to cart button's XPath is retrieved. Okay. So for that I am creating a function here. It is saying that get add to cart XPath, and for that we are passing an input called product title. Okay. Now what I will do, I will basically remove this text and then I will put a particular placeholder. Okay, I will say label, for example. Now what we will do is we will try to replace that particular label from the XPath and then pass the product title that we are getting it from the function call, right? Here we have a function which will take a product title as input. So instead of label, I will replace it with the product title itself, so that dynamically we are changing this add to cart XPath, and then that XPath we will use to interact with the element. Okay. Now if you are not aware of or not clear about how to use replace functions, we have already created a minimum course of Java where any automation engineer should be aware of. In that there is something called string manipulations related video. I'll try to put a link on the top so that you can go and view that also. So here what I will do is I will say return add to cart xp dot replace I will replace it with product title. So this is a simple function. What it does, it takes the add to cart XPath. From that it will replace the label with the product title, and then it returns the value. Okay, now let me tell you why I am trying to use static here, right? So what I am trying to do here is, if you are not aware of static, I would also recommend you to go through the video that we have done in Java series as how static is used. Okay, so the whole point here is I should be able to call these methods directly with the class name. I don't want to create a object for this and then again call method on top of it. So for that I am declaring this method as a static method so that I can directly call this method with the class name itself. Okay, so now let's go to the demo test. Okay, so now we wrote a method to get the XPath, but we don't have any method in the browser class which will use this particular XPath and then perform action, right? So we will use the XPath locator now to click. Okay, so I will copy this. So I will copy this code. I will say click by XPath, and then I will say XP. So here instead of saying ID, there is a locator called XPath, and then I'll give XP. Okay, so it is as simple as that. So this is the advantage of writing the methods, so that once you write these methods, you can reuse it anywhere. Okay, and then you go to the demo test now. So far if you see, the code was actually to launch the browser, navigate the URL, login, and then you are in the page where the list of products are shown, right? Now in that I want to click add to cart button of a particular product, right? So first we'll take one title here, for example Sauce Labs backpack. Okay, now we have a method called browser.click by XPath. So from where do we get the XPath? We have created a class for a page, right? So I'll say products page dot get add to cart XPath, and for this we have to pass the title. So I have imported the page also by pressing Ctrl Shift O. Ctrl Shift O is used to add the import statements automatically, and then we are calling the static method get add to cart XPath, and for that it needs a product title. That is what we have passed, and then we are basically generating the XPath which is required for that particular add to cart, okay, for that product. Now we pass that as an input. Now for debugging purposes, what we can do is you can actually print and see whether the XPath is getting generated properly or not. So we'll say system.out.println XPath. Okay, so what I did, I just added a system.out.println method, and then I am printing the generated XPath. Okay, so let us now execute this and see if it is properly clicking on the add to cart of Sauce Labs backpack. Okay, that is important. So again, if you don't know or did not understand how we got the XPath, I would suggest to click on the icon present on the top, which talks about how we create XPath for any elements. Okay, let's now execute. Okay, the browser is launched, it is logging in, click login. If you see, it has clicked on the add to cart of Sauce Labs backpack, and also the add to cart count has been increased. So we were successfully able to click on the add to cart of that particular product. Now let us see if it is working for any other product. Okay, let me see for maybe this particular item. So we have to first get the title. Okay, and then what I will do, I will create another add to cart XPPRD2, like second product. Products page dot get add to cart XPath of. This is the another item related XPath or title, right? So now a new XPath is created, and then we will use this again. And instead of the previous one, we will now give the new XPath. So if you see here, the advantage of writing this method is creating and replacing the XPath and generating the XPath properly. Okay, let us even see if we printed here, right, the XPath, if it is coming properly or not. So you can see that in the console. See here, it says XPath. So this is the XPath we have generated. Okay, so this is good. Now if you want, you can generate again, if you want, you can again print for the second one also. So here I'll say XPath product 1, XPath product 2. Okay, let us now execute again. So before executing, I will close the browser. Okay, we will execute again. Now this time it has to click on add to cart of two different items. One is Sauce Labs backpack and the other is Sauce Labs fleece jacket. Right click and then execute. Okay, it launched the browser, navigating to the page, logged in. Okay, now it clicked on two items here if you see. One for Sauce Labs backpack and other is for Sauce Labs fleece jacket, right? So our functions are working properly and the actions that we wanted to perform is also happening properly. Okay, so this is how you will use XPaths and write Selenium code to interact with the objects. I hope this is all useful and you're learning something. If that is the case, I would request you to click that like button and then subscribe button and the bell icon so that you will not miss the future videos. Thank you for watching and stay tuned.